Okay, so today we're comparing some C10 suspension pieces. We got cross members, lower and upper control arms. These two cross members, this one's from a 69, weighs in at 65 pounds. This one here is from a 91 Suburban, which is the same as a 73 to 87 pickup. This one weighs in at about 58 pounds. So there's a bit of a weight difference there. When you look at the other side, you can tell the size of this opening quite large in comparison to this one, which is quite small. So I've heard people saying they're the same, but they're not the same. There's some more differences to come. We're going to look at those in a second. When you look at the lower control arms, in this case the rubber bushing one, the 91, winds up being heavier than the old solid bushing one. There's a 5-pound difference in weight here. 25 pounds on the 69 and 30 pounds on the 91, which is the same as 73 to 87 pickup, I believe. I do like the solid bushing better. As long as there's no play, you won't have any bind in your rubber bushings. So I think I'm gonna go with a lighter 25 pound 69, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. I believe 71, 72 should be the same. Basic design. So we got upper arms here. These are both the driver's side. Geometry looks pretty much the same. 6 pounds versus about 9.5 pounds. And the older ones are lighter. Older solid bushing units are lighter. Even though there's a hose on here, I don't think this weighs much. But gonna go with the lighter version with the solid bushings, just so there's no bind in the suspension there. So geometry on this looks pretty much the same. Where it locates on the subframe, or the pins above the U-bolts, right about there, that locates the arms. That's this guy. So you would think, just by looking at it, that the arm on the newer one is placed further forward, because when you line, these two are lined up nicely. When you look at here, it jogs forward on the newer bushed version. But in reality, when you line up these two pinholes here, you go to the other side, the ball joint appears to be located in exactly the same plane. So I don't think there's a difference there. When you look at the upper arms, though, however, you know, I'm just eyeballing this, but you lay them right over top of each other. There may be a slight difference in favor of more caster for the bush version. Okay, so that's that. Now here's the only difference I can see. And again, I've been staring at this for probably too long today, but it's easy to visualize. Like I've tried all sorts of tools. I guess I should make a jig and try to measure it out. But this piece here, this is off a Corvette. It holds the rear leaf spring in place. But if you sit it on the frame here, so in the center of these bolt holes, and I know you're going to say that these have bigger holes, and they do. They are drilled larger on the newer subframe. But if you stick this smack in the middle of both subframes, you can tell. So the center there, which is right here, right in the middle, the upper control arm mount is definitely located in front of center there. That's a definite in front. Now when you go to the newer C10 Crossmember, and this just, every time, it slides right to the center. It can't help but go to the middle. Just, that's how it is. Now if you look at that, it's closer to center. This pin here is closer to center. It's not obviously further forward. It is a tad bit forward, but not like this. Okay, so that's, it's all even Steven here, right in the middle. This pin here, the front mount for the upper control arm, is further forward. And you're thinking, oh, maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe they put these rivets that hold the top on. Maybe they just stamped them in that position. So we'll go to the other side. This is the driver's side. So we'll locate that in the middle again. And looking at it square on, upper control arm mount definitely further forward than center on the 69. So I believe 67, 68, 69, up all the way up to 72 should be the same. And then we're placing that plate on the 91. Even this up right here. And it's not as further forward. So that's where your caster is. It's the location of the upper arm is further back on the 73 to 91 subframe. Well, this is a 91 Suburban, so I believe they should be the same through the years. I guess you could check the parts interchange for that. Versus the 69, and again, I believe all the 67 through 72 subframes, I believe, would be the same. I've gone and I've measured the angles. This plane here versus this plane here. It's all it's just a 10-degree angle, both sides. So that didn't change. But there's a definite difference in the front lower cross members in weight. We've got a 7-pound difference in weight. And also we have some different geometry, which would lead to more caster. So I think the ideal setup would be to use the newer cross member, just so you get that caster, and then to use the lighter control arms with the solid bushings, if the ride doesn't bother you. But solid bushings, why not? They last a lifetime, can last a lifetime, as long as you keep them maintained, and the ride shouldn't be too hard with modern suspension, modern tires. Everything should be good. So that's the difference. That I've been staring at the suspension, for a couple hours today and a couple hours every other day for this last week. But there's the difference, the main difference in the C10 front end suspension. So yeah, I'm gonna use this one, and then we're gonna use the older style arms and bushings. Just got to use the matching ball joints for the newer knuckle over there. All right, so there's some info for you. You guys can compare it to your own, but you saw it here. That's what it looks like.